Converting units of measurement. So I included the unit conversion chart here, which you guys are familiar with. And anytime you solve questions, word problems, dealing with unit conversion, you want to use this chart. And you might have some of these memorized, and that's great, but you don't have to. You'll always have access to this, and it's a resource that you can use. And if you know how to use it well, it can definitely make your life easier with unit conversion questions. Now remember, it's divided into your categories. You've got length measurements there. You've got volume and capacity. That's kind of your liquids. And then weight and mass right over here at the bottom. So make sure that you isolate and find the right measurements when you're going to solve these. So let's talk about some questions here, and we'll just make sure that we're solving this and come up with a basic strategy for unit conversions. First one's here. How many ounces are in 10 pints? How many ounces in 10 pints? They want us to find the ounces. So if I go back to my chart, ounces, pints, that gets me in volume and capacity right over here. And I see ounces. It's actually fluid ounces. And I'm going to go from fluid ounces up to pints right over there. So I actually need to make two conversions. So how many ounces are in 10 pints? What I always start with right here is the first conversion. I know I have 10 pints. I know I have 10 right there. So I'm going to start with the top. 1 pint equals 2 cups. 1 pint equals 2 cups. That's what it says right there at the top. Okay, well first let's figure out how many cups we have if we have 10 pints. So if I have 10 pints, then how many cups will I have? Well, just find the relationship here at the top. 1 times something equals 10. Well, 1 times 10 equals 10. So whatever I do to that side, I can do to the bottom. So 2 times 10 would give me 20. And now I know how many cups that I have at the bottom. I don't know my ounces yet, but I know how many cups I have. Got 20 cups. So from there I need to reconvert my cups into fluid ounces. So that means I'm going to do this one right over here, this conversion. 1 cup equals 8 ounces. So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to write my 1 cup equals 8 and fluid ounces. I'm going to put FLOZ, fluid ounces right over there. And well, how many cups do I have? I don't have 1, I have 20 cups. So I'll put my 20 cups right there. And then see if we can find a relationship, because I need to figure out what my fluid ounces are. Well, this is pretty straightforward also. 1 times something equals 20. It's actually 1 times 20. So I'm going to multiply by 20 on this side also. And I got 20 times 8. If you don't know that off the top of your head, 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 2 is 16. So it's going to be 160 fluid, sorry guys, I'll write it right, fluid ounces. So how many ounces are in 10 pints? 160 fluid ounces. So remember, we write our initial unit conversion and then just apply it to whatever we're trying to find, kind of that missing conversion, and figure out what we're multiplying by and just apply it to the other side. Let's try one more, and you can work ahead of me on this one if you want, but we're going to see 200 ounces equals blank pounds. Looking at ounces and pounds. Going back to my conversion chart, I'm going to erase this part right over here that I had. And I'm looking at ounces and pounds, so that's actually going to be weight and mass over here. So it says, back to the question, 200 ounces equals how many pounds? So I know my ounces, I have that. I'm trying to come over here and find my pounds. So let's see, 200 ounces equals how many pounds? I'm going to go ahead and just write the, I can solve it after doing one conversion right over here. So I'm going to write my first measurement conversion as 16 ounces equals 1 pound. So 16 ounces is 1 pound. That's ounces right over there. Sorry guys. And then pound, put LBS for pounds right over there. So then over here, well, what if I have 200? If I have 200 ounces, how many pounds would that be? Well, we got to find the relationship between 16 and 200. You might not know off the top of your head, 16 times something equals 200. Well, if you can't figure it out, the method from there is to then divide 200, divide this number by 16. We'll figure out how many times 16 goes in there. So let's do the division. 16 does not go into 2. It goes into 20 one time. So 16 times 1 is 16. When you subtract, you get 4. And you're going to bring down the 0 and get 40. So 16 then goes into 40 twice. 16 times 2 is 32. And when you subtract here, you are going to get 8. And remember, you don't see it, but we got our other 0 to bring down. Got 80. And now I have a decimal point here. 16 goes into 80 5 times evenly. So I get 80. And then I can 0 this thing out right here. So I get 12.5. So 16 times 12 sorry, I'm going to have to write it over this. 12.5 equals 200. So I can just apply the same thing over here. Well, this is not too hard. 1 times 12.5 actually equals 12 point, let's get the decimal, 5 pounds, lbs. So there we go right over there. Again, found the relationship between the top and then applied it to the bottom. So just a quick review. When you go to find these, write down your initial conversion, and if it's 1 gallon equals 4 quarts or 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds, write that down first, and then write down your second one to the side and figure out what the relationship is and apply it to the other side for unit conversions.